Hello everyone, it's your new invader girl, MercuryMyst, coming at you live from outer space. Please join me for today. We'll be discussing Mortal Kombat's very own ghost ninja, Ermac. No, Scorpion! Get your video another time. Join me and friends as we rate their looks to be festive in the ghoulish holiday and in hollow spirits. It's the reason why I wanted to start with Ermac for Halloween, as of the time of this recording, and it's like the end of the month. Note, I am not a professional designer. This is just my opinions from one artist to another. If you disagree with me, feel free in the comment section down below to tell me why and what I could do better personally. Criticism is fine, just be nice about it, please. With that out of the way, let's get into today's video. Alright then, to start things off, my list contains 5 categories, All-Star being iconic and the best of the best, amazing being solid or really good, acceptable being moderate or fair, ambivalent being either boring or not interesting, abhorrent being so bad it's a boo-boo star. I'm gonna get right into it and say that the UMK3 design of Ermac is instantly an all-star. He's personally an all-star for me because he was my favorite design. I used to remember seeing my brother and his friends playing Mortal Kombat 3 and Trilogy when I was a child, and whenever I saw them, I saw all the ninja color palettes, and Ermac was the one that I saw that immediately I gravitated towards. I really just love the simple red ninja design, and I like the pads on his vest. I know a lot of people don't personally, but I do. I love the padded vest design. I love the UMK3 fingerless ninja glove he has with the little triangular bit on his hand. I love the little loincloth and the shin guards. The design it does what it does. It's a ninja, you know who he is, and it's simple. I like that his eyes are white. I like that, his telekinesis are invisible and are not green. And that might be slightly controversial. Don't get me wrong, I love Ermac shooting green fireballs, but I personally think that it looks a lot cooler when his telekinesis were just invisible, and when he floated, it was just invisible. But I mean, he's so cool with the green eyes and the green telekinetic abilities. It's still cool either way. I just kind of thought it was cool when it was invisible, because it made him seem more like a ghost or like a poltergeist. But yeah, that was my favorite design. To me, UMK3 Ermac is the definitive and the epitome of Ermac. That's Ermac to me. And also just to say, MK1 and 2 are also going to be considered all-star. I'm really just trying to put up looks that he canonically or even non-canonically showed up in. I'm just trying to do looks that we as an audience or as gamers have actually seen Ermac in, rather that be in the games or in the very few, the one movie and the one decisive show that was on YouTube. I'll get into that in a minute. Oh boy, do I have a lot to say for that design. Oh, anyway, just know that MK1 and 2 would be an all-star category because they are also all-stars and they are really awesome. Because in my philosophy of good character design, a design should be simple yet effective. It should be so simple that a child could draw it and remember it. That's what I believe. I was inspired by that from a certain podcast that I like to listen to a lot on here, and I totally agree with those very wise words, because it's true. A good character design should be very simple, and you should be able to tell what you're looking at right away. Doesn't mean it can't be detailed, it should just be very readable. Next things up is his Defenders of the Realm design, and I'm going to put this as, I'm going to still say it's pretty amazing. It looks, for the most part, it gets the job done of what Ermac looks like, except he just has full fingered gloves, and for some reason he looks like he's wearing a red diaper. That's weird. But I can kind of ignore that and say, well, it's basically the MK3 design, and it still looks really cool for the most part. The only thing about it I don't like are the weird gauges. I think that's a very odd choice, and the odd haircut he has. It's a look, but it ain't the look for me personally. And that's the only thing that really bumps it down to just being amazing, because overall it's still a pretty good design. What's interesting, I refuse to give the context behind this image right here, but I find it really interesting that the con guards in the background actually have a black mask design, which is because, well, there's no reason for it. It's just, it's kind of interesting that they kind of, in a way, reuse that design for Ermac in the future games, how he has the black wraps and whatnot. And I think that that was kind of a cool callback, and the fact that they even have sleeves. So that to me was kind of cool, and I thought that that was a neat little detail. I don't know if they were inspired by the old design from that old cartoon when they were making Deception. Either way, it works pretty cool. And I'm gonna say Annihilation design. I know the movie is very, very hilarious. It's a very fucking funny movie. But I'm gonna actually say the design itself of Ermac is actually amazing. Because this actually looks like Ermac. When I look at him, I see Ermac. The hexagon patterns on his suit are an interesting choice. His mask doesn't read Ermac immediately to me, but either way, through and through, I do like this design. I like the sleeves. I like that they were very committed to doing just a black and red ninja design. And I don't know, I thought it was a pretty good design. Sorry, excuse me. I think that it's a very, very cool look for him, and it's decent, you know, I really like it. Now, coming into Deception, I do really like this design, and I think that this design did reinvent the character, and this is when Ermac actually had a character, and he became more than just a like, you know, lapdog. He actually became like his own person. And I thought that that was really cool, especially how, you know, he was a good guy, essentially.
We are now free to choose our own destiny.
But this isn't my favorite version of the design with the black wraps. I'm just gonna put it in amazing. And I know that might piss a lot of people off, and I'm sorry. I really hope I don't piss anyone off. I don't want to step on anyone's, you know, opinions on it. I just personally, I think it's a really good design, but for me, I'll never like the design of Ermac with the black wraps nearly as much with the red mask. I know that might be my unpopular opinion, but when I see Ermac, I want him to be a red ninja. I don't want him with the wraps. I don't want him like a mummy. I like him when he has the red ninja mask. But yeah, it's still an amazing design. Getting into his Deception alternate, I'm not a huge fan of it. It just has these really weird like sashes, and they were trying to go for a more classic ninja vibe, and he has the hair out in this. It's just, it's a bit I'm not liking it too much. I'm pretty ambivalent towards it personally. I just don't think it's a very good design, but it's not the worst he's ever been in, but I don't like it. I don't even like the texture of the pants in Deception. I don't know what was going on with the pattern texturing on it, but it just looked really awful. So no to that. And just the piggyback onto the Deception look, I really do like the red and black inverted color scheme for him. It does look really nice, and I've seen some amazing cosplay of this specific design. But you're not gonna beat my UMK3 design. I'm sorry. I just love him too much. That design is beautiful. It's just simply brilliant. Alright, and to get into Shaolin Monk's design, we have this one. Now this one I love. And I'm not even a big fan of Ermac with the black wrap designs on his face, but I have to say, Shaolin Monk's is a very good competitor. It is an all-star. The reason why I like this design better than the Deception primary design is because it has better color placement. And to me, that just looks way more fashionable and way cooler. Like, he has the red pants, he has the black sleeves, he has the black wraps on the head, he has bolder red lines on his black vest and loincloth, and he has the gold embroidery on his shin guards and on his arm guards. He just looks really sick. So that is an amazing design. that's totally sick. So that's why I say if I have to get Ermac with the black wraps on his face, I will definitely choose the Shaolin Monk's design any day. And to get into MK9's design, this one for me is just acceptable. I think the design, it tries a couple of things, and it tries to be similar to his Deception design, but what I'm not a huge fan of is the really big golden yellow symbol on his back. I think it's an odd choice, and it doesn't feel like Ermac, because Ermac had a really cool, unique insignia that looked like some kind of beetle crest. I don't know what the heck it's supposed to be, and that's just not what I'm looking for. Also, his belt's really bulky in this design, and I don't like it. I don't like how the red on his vest is really like these teeny tiny thin pipes, and that's pretty much my only problems with it. It is still a decent costume. I don't hate it. That's why I say it's just acceptable, but it's not my favorite. And getting into his MK9 alternate, I'd say this one is slightly better than his MK9 primary. And I know what you're thinking. I know some people might be like,
Nay, Mercury, I say nay. How can you even rate him that low?
and I'm just like, I'm sorry. Sorry for my horrible voice. I'm so sorry. But no, I just don't really like this one very much. It's just like, I know so many people love the MK9 alternate, and I deeply apologize if I made anyone angry. Please don't hate me. I just think that it's fair. It's an okay look. I don't hate it, but I definitely don't love it. I do like the sleeves. I like how they're red. I like the gloves he's wearing. I even like his belt better in this design. I like that he's actually wearing the red mask. So it is better, but his red looks a little too muted for my liking. And I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of it. I guess I just like my ninjas just having the simple red ninja V. That's just gonna be my kind of thing. Now we get into Legacy, the so-called Legacy. This design is shit. This is abhorrent. This isn't even Ermac. He's just some disgusting ghoulish zombie spitting out blood, and he barely wears any red. And when I show this picture on screen, yes, he is actually wearing just a little bit of red. You can barely tell, because what does he look like? He looks like some zombie wearing whatever the hell he's wearing.
What manner of beast are you?
Just like, ew. That's abhorrent. Purely abhorrent. And then we get into his MKX design. The primary design of this one, I'm actually kind of ambivalent towards. I sort of hate the fact that this design is basically considered like the default Ermac now. Like when I see it on Wikipedia, I hate that this is his default. I'm just like, no, he doesn't even like Ermac. He's not even wearing the wraps over his mouth. Why the hell would you want to see his face? And I don't like the mummified skeletal features. I know a lot of people like that design too, but I'm sorry, I hate it. I do not like it. It's just not, it was not a direction I like. I don't even like the trench coat vibe. I think the weird Spider-Man gloves he's wearing are kind of cool, but other than that, it's fine. It's a serviceable costume. I just am not the biggest fan of it for Ermac. I don't like how his eyes look all sunken in. Then we have his tournament or whatever outfit this was. This design, I'm going to say, is abhorrent. I hate it. That's just not even Ermac. That's just some dead guy. Slightly better than Legacy, but still, he looks honestly unrecognizable to Ermac at this point. He's not even trying. At least with the other one, he was wearing red. And then you got the mummy design. That's also going to go in abhorrent. And I know people might say, oh, but if they're going to go with the mummy aesthetic, they might as well went with an actual mummy. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't like it. I'm sorry. I don't like how gross his feet look with them nasty ass toenails. He just looks really, really weird and weak. I'm just not really into this design for Ermac. And I kind of miss the good old days. Like back in UMK3 specifically, Ermac was actually brown skinned and very mixed looking. And I feel like if you're a combination of several people, you should be kind of mixed looking. You should be a kind of tan or kind of light brown skinned person. You shouldn't be this pale, grayed out zombie. That doesn't make sense. No one looks like that. But whatever, I'm not a fan of it. His crimson design, oops, wrong one. His crimson design, I'm gonna have to say, is just acceptable for me. It's a decent design, but it's just based off of Scorpion's costume, and I had fun playing in this skin of Ermac. I did play MKX, but I mostly played his UMK3 design. It's pretty much a pretty good, you know, like kind of revamped version of the MK3 design. The only problem is the red is too dull and his eyes are still sunken in like he's dead, but other than that, it's like the only acceptable skin of Ermac in that game. And since I already have 2 UMK3 designs, really damn near 3 on here, I decided just to say I'm not going to put it on here, but if I did have the UMK3 MKX design, it would go in acceptable. Just because of the sunken in eyes and still the dead, decayed looking skin look. Now for MK11. I'm going to say his MK11 design will go... well, I'm going to talk about it a little bit first. In this design, I know a lot of people really do love the way that he looks. And it's an interesting concept. I don't completely hate it. And I do think, I like, for instance, like a lot of people say that they don't like the clawed gauntlets. I kind of do like the clawed gauntlets. I think they're interesting. I personally wouldn't go for it, but I still think it looks pretty cool on him. I really like the sleeves that he's wearing with the armored pads on it. I kind of like the mask, although it's kind of like a reference to him, you know, being taped up on the mouth because they instantly killed him off as soon as you show him. Like he's literally just the guy who shows up for like 2 seconds in Crypt and dies. He dies faster than Crypt guy. And I'm just sitting here like, oh man, what a waste. Why isn't Ermac here? But this design, it's a little all over the place. He has these tassels and he still has the coat design. He has this weird plasticky rib cage, and I know what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to represent the Deception logo and even his MKX logo that he has, but it's a little too bulky and it's kind of ugly and off-putting. I do, however, like the hood, and I really love the boots he's wearing. So I'm a bit in the middle on this design. I don't think it's the worst Ermac design. I definitely don't. But I don't know if it's amazing. When I first saw it, I thought it was really cool looking, but over time, I grew to kind of collect my feelings on it, and I'll just put it in acceptable. But it's a high acceptable. I'll put it as a very high acceptable. I do like that it's fresh, but I don't like the way he looks right there. And also, I don't know if his skin's supposed to look gray or if it's just because he's dead. I mean, deader than normal. But I really don't like how his skin looks really gray. I think that was an odd choice, and Ermac should never be gray. So please, NetherRealm, don't ever do that again. But either way, those are my final thoughts on him. I can't really say I want to change my list. I did this list another time because my recording was so bad I had to redo it just for this shit quality of a recording. So excuse me if my voice sounds really shaken and terrible. I just had to re-record everything. So it was slightly frustrating, but either way, I digress. I'm just rambling at this point, but I'm going to close with, I'm gonna do a part 2 to this, and I'm gonna do a video where I'm just gonna record myself just drawing my idea of an Ermac design, because I do like to call myself somewhat of a little artist. I'm a micro artist, so if you're interested in that, please do click the link in the description, and I will definitely do that video, unless I don't for whatever reason. But either way, I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. Well, that brings us to the end of our video, and I hope I didn't annoy too many people with my terrible character interjecting in there.
Hey, Mercury, no.
Slayer, what's wrong with me? Either way, thank you all. I am an amateur at this, obviously. I have no idea what I'm doing. So if you have any criticism or any advice, please leave them down below. Just don't work me to shreds. I'm new at this gig, alright? But either way, I appreciate it, guys, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.